Please welcome to the stage, Julia Jimenez, out of the Spirit Expressions Ministry out of Pearl Harbor, Calvary Chapel. All right, one more time for Julia. Yeah! Okay.
Hello, my name is Julia Jimenez, and I am a cast member of Spirit Expressions, and we are a ministry out of Calvary Chapel, Pearl Harbor. What I'm going to do for you today is a monologue called Dear Rosie. It is one that I wrote myself. It is a letter from a mother who aborted her daughter some time ago, and she's writing her daughter a letter. I hope you enjoy. Dear Rosie, I am so sorry. I believed them. I believed the lies that were whispered in my heart. I knew that they weren't true, but I believed them anyways. I wanted you. I wanted you so much, but you came at the wrong time. I had no money, no support system. Your father and I, we weren't even engaged, let alone married. I couldn't raise you. I made a mistake. It was just me not thinking. I made the mistake, but yet you paid the price. And I am so sorry for it. When I first read that pregnancy test, I smiled. I wanted a baby. I knew it was a big problem, but I already loved you. I didn't tell your father or your granddad for over a week. I read you stories. Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, all of my favorites as a child. I sang you songs. There was this lullaby that I would sing to you every night before we went to sleep. Sleep, little darling, sleep, little dear. Don't you worry, 'cause Mama's right here. I would even buy you clothes. I bought you this cutest little dress with ribbons and bows. I knew you were a girl somehow. I guess a mama always knows. That Saturday, I sat your dad and granddad down, and I told them about you. And they said I had to get rid of you. Your father was worried about the money. He said you would cost too much, eat too much, cry too much. He didn't want to quit school to get a second job. Your granddad was worried about what people would think. What would his friends say? What would he even tell them? I remember him screaming at me, "Why would you do this? Why would you bring such shame upon your family?" I didn't mean to. And that was when the doubt and the fear started to creep in. I couldn't do this. I couldn't raise you on my own with no money, no support system. I was still in school. I barely had a job. It was too hard. It wasn't like you were a real baby anyways. Just a blob of tissue, right? Lies. Every single one of them. But I believed them. And I'm so sorry. I stopped reading to you. I stopped singing to you. I even stopped acknowledging that you even existed. And that's when I went to the clinic. I sat there as a doctor told me how easy a procedure was, how simple it was. They did it all the time, he said. It was just removing some unwanted cells, tissue, nothing more. He said, "Don't worry, there's very little risk." And I sat there and I nodded my head. But it wasn't true. You were a 12-week-old to hear. You could grasp things with your fingers. You had arms and legs and toes and fingers. You had your organs, your heart, your nerves. You had all of those. They were all there. You were a baby. But yet when the doctor said, "Are you sure you want to go through with this?" I said yes. The procedure was over soon. It was indeed very simple. I was worried about the physical pain at first, but it was the sounds that would haunt me for the rest of my life. But it was the emotional pain, the emotions that came after that were the worst. I didn't sleep for days. I couldn't sleep. I had nightmares of you being ripped from my arms as I screamed. I locked myself up in my room. I didn't let anyone come in, let no one comfort me. I wanted to be in my own little world, to grieve in peace. That hole in my heart that you left led me to seek something to fill it. And that's when I found Jesus. Rose, you led me to him. And I could finally see that he loved me for all of my faults. And that he was my Savior and my Lord. That is when I accepted him. And I know that God has forgiven me, even though it was hard to forgive myself. And even though I will always know what I did to you, my baby, I no longer have to be captive to my guilt and to my shame, because Jesus took that shame and he put it on the cross. And through biblical counseling, and through seeking his grace through his word, I have come to know that I am set free. I am free. Every day, I still think about you. And on the day that I went to go get my abortion, on the anniversary of that day, I go out into my garden, to the part that's dedicated to you, and I plant a little rose bush for my Rosie. And anytime I'm missing you too much, I go out there and I sing that lullaby to you, because I love you, my little Rosie. I only wish that I could have chosen life, so that I could have told you that myself. Your loving mother, Sarah. Thank you very much.